Game 4 Monday night to take a
made the right play.
All right, the struggle's real for all of us sometimes. So, Marcus, tell me this. What did you make of what Anthony Edwards just had to say there?
I have to agree with him. I wouldn't say he struggled. I would say he just wasn't aggressive enough. Like to start the game, when me and bro were sitting at, we was having our little wine, we was watching the game, and we were talking about keys to the game. And both of us said the same thing. Ant has to come out aggressive. Game 3, he was super aggressive. He came out and he set the tone. Yes, you can miss shots, but it's all about the rhythm of the game. Like, we want him to have a rhythm going into the fourth quarter when they really need him to make some shots. We want him to have the rhythm going into the third quarter. He took 2 shots the first half. 2 shots, regardless of if he was given what the defense presented him, he was making the right passes. Yes, that's perfectly fine. But you're Ant-Man. You have to be offensively aggressive, miss or make. Yes, take your hats off to OKC, but they didn't present anything different really than what they've done the first 3 games. So I didn't see the fact that he said he didn't struggle, which I can agree. You didn't struggle, but you didn't shoot the ball enough. You didn't attempt shots enough to give yourself a better chance at the end of the game to put the game to bed. I think I disagree with that. I think he did struggle. When you shoot 1 for 7 from the three-point line, that's struggling. When you only allowed to get, they only allow, or you're saying you tried to find your team, but only that's considered struggling. You're a guy that averaged 30 in this playoff series. You played 30 minutes last game and you had 30. I didn't see them do anything different than what they've been doing, being a great defense they already was. Y'all hung 143 up on them last game. 2 shots in the first half? That's unacceptable. But that's also struggling. I don't know what category is struggling in, but 1 for 7.
Is that on him not being aggressive enough? Is that on the defense?
It's definitely on him not being aggressive enough. You have to shoot your shot. SGA shot 30 times. That's the MVP. He only made 13 shots, but he shot 30 times. So at the end of the game, I have my rhythm. Miss or make.
Actually heard, but we played the sound of Ant-Man. You heard everything? Okay, so just dive in, Stephen A, on the thought of the sentiment of Ant-Man struggling.
You know what? It's not a matter of him struggling or not, because you can make a legitimate argument that he didn't struggle because he made the right plays as he articulated, or you can go, well, what Markieff said, and then you can say, yeah, you shot 1 for 7 from three-point range and you did struggle. One deficit. That's very, very rare in NBA history in the conference finals, and you find yourself in that precarious of circumstances. If you lose this game, one would think that you would embrace the level of aggression that's needed in order to do all that you can do to ensure that your team does not lose. That's what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did. They got blitzed by over 40 in Game 3. What does Shai do? Shai, the reigning league MVP, a man you watched hoist the MVP trophy just a few days ago, goes out there on your home turf and drops 40, 10, and 9. I'm going to repeat that again. 40, 10, and 9. And your response is, well, you know what? I don't think I struggled. I made the right play. When it was a relatively pedestrian offensive performance for you, that's inexcusable as far as I'm concerned. Ant-Man is so much better than that. And the reason why the Minnesota Timberwolves are in this position to begin with is because he didn't just focus on doing the right thing. Sometimes you have to engage in hero ball. Sometimes you got to be a little bit selfish. Sometimes you got to go out there and display a level of aggression that might turn people off until you turn them on because you're a showstopper. That's what I was looking for from Ant-Man last night. I did not get it.
Eric?
So what? I don't think it mattered that he struggled. I don't think he had a choice, to be honest with you.
You've been feeling that way about OKC for a little while.
I've been feeling you damn right.
That's right. You didn't feel that way in Game 3, though.
Hey, listen. I told you what was going to happen last night when we was on Countdown. I told you what was going to happen last night. I told you that the Oklahoma City Thunder felt some type of way about Anthony Edwards having back-to-back 30-plus point games. And damn it, they went out there and showed it. Y'all have to see this in person. We are witnessing one of the greatest defensive teams in NBA history. Like, usually you could search a mismatch and search for somebody that you want to pick on. It's not the case with the Oklahoma City Thunder. You're starting Luke Dort off on Anthony Edwards, who is a linebacker. He probably weighed 235, 240, getting physical. Then you bring in Alex Caruso, the specialist, and then you got Cason Wallace they're throwing at him. Multiple bodies time and time again. Again, SA, Twins, let me say this. They scored 126 points at the crib. They couldn't get stops.
How in God's name can you justify Ant-Man attempting 2 shots in the first half? There is nothing you can. I don't give a damn about how good Alex Caruso, Cason Wallace is, Lou Dort, the linebacker, masquerading as a basketball player because the brother's a linebacker. That's how big and strong this brother is. I don't care. You're Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. You attempt more than 2 shots and a half of a conference finals game. Now, if you're talking to me about makes and miss, I get you. We're talking about activity. We're talking about aggression. We're talking about the fact that wasn't clear. That wasn't evident in Game 4 last night. There is no excuse for that. I don't care what anybody says.
I will agree from this standpoint with you guys. Anthony Edwards, we know this, is the heart and soul of that team. He does give that team swag. And when he comes out and he's aggressive on both ends of the floor, he definitely set the tone last night. In that first half, I will say he was missing and didn't set the tone, which he should have set, especially in a crucial game.
Should he have shot more than 2 times?
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't say that, damn it.
I just said it.
You tried to weave through it all eloquently.
Hey,
just say
I just want to say
he
something
should have shot more than 2 times.
About OKC defense. The Timberwolves scored 260 points in 2 games. Like 260 points in 2 games. There's flaws in that defense, right? But the beginning of this game, we said, soon as we seen Ant Edwards shoot 2 times in the first half, me and you both looked at each other and said, they're in trouble. There's no way now they're not going to allow him to get a rhythm in the second half. And now you coming down the stretch where you need big buckets and he don't have a rhythm. Like, we all watch guys get rhythms, no matter if you miss or make. Get that rhythm early because, quite frankly, if he plays well like he did in Game 3 when he was just super, super, super aggressive no matter who was on him, they blew him out. They literally blew him out. But now he's not aggressive. The game stays close and it's down to end. And it didn't even seem like it was as close as it really was, to be honest. But they still won it. I mean, OKC still won by 2, but it didn't even seem like the game was that close just because Ant Edwards wasn't aggressive, and you figured down the stretch that would come to show that he didn't have his rhythm.
Let me ask you this, and I'll come to you, Markieff. What scenario do you feel like could derail OKC at this point? Because right now it feels like they're completely in control.
That's tough, man.